20. Holy moly, I couldn't believe it when I saw the 20. I was like, wow, it's been 20 episodes and 2 seasons and all of this. And here we are. And today we have an amazing speaker. And she's gonna like leave you guys, with your mouth open because it's gonna be amazing. This is a super successful woman that has helped many businesses, big, small, it's gonna be great. But before we get there, like always, I want to say thank you for everyone that comes to the show and is committed to learn and it's always supporting us. You're awesome. God bless you. And please always, leave us your feedback. Tell us if you have any questions. And of course, if there's something that you want to learn about that you think is very important for small businesses, that is the type of people that I want to bring to you guys. People that will help you with, a solution for a problem you may have. And we've had like many different type of people, and we've had coaches before. However, Lisa is different. Okay, and now I'm going to start talking about her amazingness. So Lisa Maki is a coach and consulting expert. Okay, and she's got experience for over 25 years. That's my somewhere saying hi to Lisa.
Hi.
And then you guys could hear her. Yeah. So she's got 25 years of experience. Okay, that's a lot. And she's designed in this over this 25 years, she's designed training programs, workshops, seminars for top 500 Fortune companies. Okay, in areas like leadership, management, supervision, communication, self-development, team building, and way more. Right. So Lisa is a seasoned coach that has helped lots of entrepreneurs launch, build, and grow their respective businesses. Additionally, she has helped develop leaders in their own spheres of influence. And she's gonna tell us more about that in a second. So all of her combined experience in human resources, public relations, communication, and personal and organizational development, have been like super important for her success as a business coach and consultant. Lisa has a bachelor degrees in English, and she pursued a graduate level coursework in psychological services in organizational development. She owns a consulting business, and she's gonna tell us everything about it later. Uh, and she's happily married with her dream man. Woo!
Yes.
Shout out to the dream man. And is a proud mom of 2 boys. And here we are with Lisa. Oh my God! Thank you so much, Lisa. Welcome. Woo!
Yay. Thank you for
Here
inviting
in the
me.
show.
Yeah,
Welcome, Lisa. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
You're amazing. Do you know that?
Yeah. I don't want to rely on all those credentials, I guess, for my amazingness, because the amazingness really is what we've been through.
Oh yeah.
The story behind all these things. And it's good to be reminded, once in a while. But, I guess when we focus too much on our credentials, that's when we lose focus of our purpose. And the purpose really is what makes us fulfilled in what we do wherever we are.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. I'm with you
Mhm.
100%. And we got to stay humble, right? And of course, keep growing.
Yeah,
But we never forget our roots, which is leads to
definitely.
my next question. My first question is like, we want to know about you, my friend. So how do you get started into, consulting companies and starting your own business and all this stuff? Like, how did that happen? Tell us about your story.
Okay, so I was privileged to have a father, a very, very hardworking father who came from poverty. So my dad came from a very poor family because my grandpa, who's a union leader, was
Mm.
kicked out of his job and never found another job. So it was my grandma who really worked hard to provide for the kids, but they were very poor. And so my dad vowed that he will never be a prisoner of that environment because everywhere he looked, it was just poverty. And so he studied so hard and he graduated valedictorian, top of his class from elementary to high school, earned him a scholarship in college. And he graduated summa cum laude and was able to study in Harvard and University of Hawaii. But anyway, so we had a good start because of my dad.
Wow.
And my first job was with him. So he
Nice.
had a PR consulting agency that
Oh wow.
eventually became a consulting company. And so that was my first exposure to the consulting field. But you know how it is. You want to make a name for yourself. And so eventually I'm like, I'm going to start a business. Okay. But what pushed me to start a business was my divorce from my ex husband, because I was left with full custody of my two kids.
Mm.
And so, the hunger pushes us forward. It's a motivating force. When you're helpless, when you feel like nobody's there to help you. And I didn't want to run to dad and ask for help, because
Mhm.
it was my decision anyways to, my wrong choices led me to that path, but it still made me the person I am today. But because of that, I had no choice. I was looking at my kids and I'm like, what are we going to do now? So I knew that being employed was not going to lead me to those financial goals. And so I saved whatever I could. And in 2 years' time after the divorce, I was able to start my own consulting business. And I also told my dad, I want to make a name for myself as well. So that was
Nice.
the beginning.
Wow,
Hmm.
I love that. That's a great story. And so how old were the kids when you made that decision and everything?
My second one was like barely 2 years old.
Wow.
And
The
my
second
eldest was 10. Yeah, my
the other
eldest
one
was
was 10.
10.
Wow. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that must have been like difficult. And so
Very.
you're now back in the day, you were now a single mom and fighting for your children and
Yep.
working really hard and starting a business too, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow. So I mean, that's amazing. Okay. And
Yeah.
you forgot to put that here, by the way. That's really amazing. So so I mean, it must have been like really difficult. So why not why, but like how were you able to survive those times and everything? Like what keep you together? I'm sure your kids, right? Like
Hmm. Well, what kept me together, yeah, you're right. It was my kids, just looking at them and like, I want to give them a good future because
mhm.
they didn't deserve what happened to me. I wanted to give them a real family with mom and dad, but since I couldn't give them that, then the best option would be for me to provide a good future for them. And as I've said, I had a good start by, working with my dad,
Mhm.
and my dad taught me the values that I still carry with me up to this day, like the values of
Beautiful.
excellence and commitment and trustworthiness. And that's the reason why I was able to bring some of the clients we already had to my new business. But again, I wanted to make a name for myself. So I was able to go to those huge companies. And I
Mhm.
was I was really, when you're desperate to make things happen, you're gonna do anything. And
Yeah.
Jose, back in the days, I'm not joking, back in the days, we didn't have these PowerPoint presentations. We didn't
Yeah.
have the internet.
None of
I
that
don't
stuff.
know if you're even aware of those huge overhead projectors. That's what
Yeah.
we were using. Because I already had a consulting business. I was designing training programs for corporations.
Mhm.
And so I remembered, and I'm small, I remembered having someone help me because I had that huge projector just
Okay.
for me to make a presentation to a prospective client. So they eventually told me that when they saw that I had a big projector, they were like, this girl is serious. And I was
Yeah.
young, this girl is serious. And so that opened the door for me. And then one thing led to the next, just because of they believed in me, they trusted me.
Beautiful. Wow.
Mhm.
And were you scared like going and trying to convince this big Fortune 500 Fortune companies
It
to do?
was really hard. It was
I'm
hard
sure.
because the people I was talking to were the human resources people who already had their thing going on. And
Oh
so
my.
here I am coming from the outside. It's kind of like a competitor. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you going to take our jobs? Because
Yeah.
so I have to kind of win them to my side, but at the same time, also work with them. And so if the decision maker is more than just one person, so it's like talking to the entire or just for you to get an account. It was difficult. I'm telling you, whoever is just and you want to be an entrepreneur, you're so blessed to be in this time and day and age where everything's just easier, so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we don't recognize that, and of course it's easier in some ways. Of course, it might be more difficult in some other ways, but
Mhm.
we don't value and recognize the fact that we got technology and we got these things and some other things, and before people would have to like go there and knock on doors, like
Oh
you would
yeah,
have, right, or
I'm
just cold
telling
calling.
you, if COVID happened during that time, I don't even know how businesses would have survived.
Yeah, probably not.
Seriously.
I mean, it
Yeah,
could have
probably
been
not.
really difficult. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
And then there's still a lot of brick and mortars that they're still recovering, and some of them just disappear because of it was very difficult. And something very, very sad that I also learned going to one networking event for foundations and charities is
Mm.
that 50% of the United States charities disappeared because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah, because they're brick and mortar, and people, and they were when there's no money and stuff, like you're probably gonna stop giving money to your charity. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
why
that
the
was.
online presence is so crucial now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Mhm.
super crucial, because of course if you're St. Jude Hospital or something like that, it's gonna
Yeah.
be okay because you're pushing in online and stuff. But
Yeah.
most of these small foundations, they're local, right, and they sustain because of the locals go and help,
Mhm.
or either time with their time or their money. So
Yeah.
oh yeah, that it really impacted businesses. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, that's I want to know, like, Lisa, what is an advice that you would give, because not all the time we have a single mom that was like fighting hard for the children and stuff in the show. So what would be an advice that for someone that is watching this or will watch it when it's on YouTube and stuff, that for if they're going through the same situation that you were going back in the day, and what would you recommend this other Lisa Maki that's experiencing this moment, right? What would you tell them?
Okay. For single moms, it really depends what you want to do. Are you going to pursue a career? Or are you going to pursue a business? But even in pursuing a business, I always advise that you choose something that you're very passionate about, because
Hmm.
that's really going to sustain you. If you're just going to choose a business because your friend became successful at it,
Hmm.
you're already starting on the wrong foot. So choose something that you're very passionate about, choose something you're skilled in. So something that will really utilize your skills to the fullest, and something that you're experienced in. Now, if
Yeah.
you're choosing a business and you're a single mom and you still have to take care of your kids, there are so many creative ways, especially now that we have the online space.
Hmm.
If you're good in cooking, you can start just doing videos about cooking, and eventually you can create your online course. So there are many creative ways. You want to learn something, just Google it, just watch it on YouTube. Just make sure that you're doing something you love and you're passionate about. And always don't forget the why. The why is the most important thing. Why are you even doing what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because even at the point of giving up, when you look back to your children, like with me, I would go home late at night. Like I was like the dad and the mom wanting to spend time with my kids, but I
Hmm.
have to work hard for their future. So every time I just feel like giving up, like how I wish I can just be there for them. I look at them at night, going home and they're already asleep, and that pushes me to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I understand the situation because my mom was kind of the same way. And
Oh,
yeah, and not completely, but it was kind of like that. So I understand, and I know, like, my mom would get home and she would still try to play video games with me, and she would fall asleep,
yeah,
and
that's
and I yeah, and now of course, I understand, and you're telling me that, and I know how tough it is, and
mm-hmm.
I wish I would have, and I would recriminate that to my mom, like, hey, like, why are you falling asleep, or oh,
Yeah,
you're
I
never with me.
remember that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're never with me, but I understand now, and I own a business, like, and she helps me a lot. She's my finance director, and she,
Oh, wow.
yes, yes, it's beautiful. But then, like I totally understand even beyond, because not now I probably work more than my mom did, and now probably she works more than she did back in the day.
And I'm
Because
sure she influenced you because of what you saw in her.
yes, but I know, and I believe, well, I'm sure that one of the things that had allowed me to be this way and be able to work really hard and not, I do complain. I'm not, in fact, I was complaining a little bit, whining a little bit before the interview because I had a back pain, but stuff happens, right? But that taught me so much, and I believe that that has helped me so much, that teaching of my mom that she gave me, just unconsciously, just being her
Mm.
and working hard for her children. I think that's, and I don't know, how are your kids, like now, like are they grown up now?
Oh
They're
my
how old are
goodness. They're adults. Like,
they? Adults now?
yeah, one was born 1987, the other one was 1996.
Okay.
And we have a better relationship now than we used to have.
They
And,
comprehend better, right?
yeah, because they're already grown men. And so they really, we have a very, very good relationship.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. It means
Mhm.
me and my mom, yes, best relationship. But I understand now, right? Like, oh, she
Yeah,
works so hard, and you as a kid, you don't understand like what is working
no,
or this thing.
definitely.
So yeah.
You
So
raise
no,
your kids right, they'll be all right.
yeah, exactly. No, and I
Mhm.
and I'm super. I love my mom. She's the best in the world, and of course, like you too, and shout out to single moms out there working really
Yes.
hard, especially starting their own business. Like that's super.
Mm,
uh like that's a lot. Like it's really hard, but you can do it. Look at Lisa, she did it.
yeah,
That's why
went
we're
through
bringing
it.
you like Lisa, to give you guys hope and
Mm,
show you that it's possible. So Lisa, tell me, I believe I know the answer, maybe we know, but I don't want to, like, because there's people that even though their parents did something, they go a different route, but you decided to go with consulting, and also you still do some PR stuff, right?
yeah.
So why did you decide to do that and not do something else?
Well, I guess really it was a huge influence in my life because even back in high school during summer break, my dad would like make me work for him, like just doing typing stuff. And then he would like ask me to join him during his during his conferences, his trainings, and I was the one giving out materials, and I
Mhm.
fell in love with the environment. So that was already like a seed that was sowed in me, that was planted in me. Plus, I'm my father's daughter, so kind of like I also have his genes and the
Mhm.
skills and experiences. But I was a very rebellious teenager. That's the reason why I made the wrong choices. Despite that, I was still like stubborn and rebellious.
Well, who isn't? Like, I mean,
I
those ages.
know everybody goes through it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know about what happens with the hormones and stuff. I know it's crazy. I was the same, and I believe everyone is the same. So you
Yeah.
want to do values and you want to do all of this, but it's great that you decided to go that route, because I believe like you have an advantage when you do something like that, because you can, like, it translates, right? Like a lot of what your dad
Yeah.
did, it's helpful. It's really helpful, because in my case, I did an entire different thing. But at least, my mom's still here and she's helping me. But when it comes to numbers and all those things, I did learn a lot from her.
Well,
So
there's kind of like a missing part of the story that I'm remembering now.
okay,
So my ex-husband was my boyfriend since I was a teenager,
okay,
and he was very controlling, and so he wanted to control even my path. Okay, so he
oh
ended
wow,
up as the father of my kids. Wanted to, he was the one dictating to me what course I should take up in college and who I should be when I finally become his wife. And so because of that, I took up interior design in college. And my
mm,
father didn't even want me to pursue that because he knew that was not the
you
direction.
knew, yeah,
Yeah, and
no,
even my professors were begging me to shift to another course. So still
yeah,
that was still, So, but what happened was because I got pregnant, I got pregnant before I was married. Then I
Mm.
was forced to stop, and I was in a Catholic school, and they were very strict. They were not going to take you back because you got pregnant out of wedlock. They were
Yeah.
very, very strict, and so I couldn't go back to school. And so that's when I'm like, do I really want that? So I pursued another degree, and that kind of pushed me towards that direction of consulting.
Got it.
Mhm.
So, and that degree was, I
The
gotta hear it.
bachelor's, yeah, the bachelor's
Yeah,
degree in English.
in
So,
English.
mhm.
Yes. And I love that because, one of the things I do the most is reading, and I look at dictionaries, my friend, and I get, I learn new words. And I think I'm very, very close to knowing more English than Spanish, even though I've been only speaking English for like 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't do anything in Spanish. I do like everything I can in English. And of course, still speak with my wife and my mom in Spanish, but
Well,
everything
I
I do.
remember before because I come from the Philippines, and
Okay.
in school, so English is really like our second language. In
Yeah.
school, our English teacher taught us to think in English. So when you're speaking in English, you have to think in English. You can't
Mhm.
be thinking in Filipino and speaking in English because it won't work. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so I'm happy for you. I'm envious that
Thank
I
you.
can't even speak Spanish anymore. I studied Spanish up to Spanish 4, and I just know I just know little things like
Yeah. No,
in
I want
school.
to pursue a third language because I believe that like I mean, communication is so important, right? Like, so
Yeah,
if I have the ability to communicate with someone in France,
yeah,
that maybe they have something I need. There's a piece there that I need, but I'm never gonna figure it out if I can't talk to them in
yeah.
in a proper way,
Mm-hmm.
because not like speaking it like not fluently. There's a big barrier in what you
I
can
know, I know.
communicate and whatnot. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. No, so I like that, and like I said, I love going through the dictionary, and every time I hit a word that I don't understand, I go over it, and
Yeah,
that's super. It's been super important to really
yeah.
know the meaning of the words. Oh yeah, it's huge, and I think
Mm-hmm.
all people should do that because it's really different. When you don't understand something, it's probably because there's something there in the text that you're like, I'm not sure completely what this means. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's really good. That's really good.
yeah, no, it's great. It's life changing. It's studying. It's
Mhm.
For me, studying is so important. Like in my life in general, because of business, of course. And like all the things that you're well versed in and everything. Like I'm studying right now when it comes to business, Lisa.
Mhm.
So it's super interesting. Like business is so amazing, and I think it's
Yeah.
something important, and like it really relates with my next question, which
Mhm.
is like how important is like having a coach, Lisa, that can explain to you, like what is the most important thing to do at the time, because business is super, like it comprehends so many things. It's super complex. So how important is having a coach on your side that is helping you and guiding you when, especially when you're starting, you don't really know
Yeah,
what
that's a very good question.
thank
Because
you.
between going to school for business and hiring a coach, you'll be saving money hiring a coach, and you'll be learning more with a
Mhm.
coach than going to school. Because going to business school is more for executives, like you're managing the business of somebody else.
Got it.
They haven't really created anything. Maybe there is, but I don't know anything that's really more of the entrepreneurship that we have today. And we are in a very different business landscape.
Mhm.
And so having a business coach is really not just having a coach and mentor, but it's just having somebody who sees things from the outside. Because when we're too close to something, like I myself need other coaches. When we're too close to something, we don't really see anymore. And then we're overwhelmed. We keep doing the same things over and over again. It's not working anymore. But then, even if we try to change it, we still go back to it because that's just how our brains are wired. And so, the having a coach really pulls you back to where you should be. It holds you accountable, And so some people think that just having a coach is just teaching you step A to Z. That's just one of the minor things. What's more important than that is that having somebody you can be accountable to, because
Yeah,
otherwise we'll just keep making excuses. Like I'm telling you, I challenged myself uh, doing a live video in my Facebook group. I challenged myself to do a random video for the next 7 days. And I've been wanting to do that, but I kept making excuses,
yeah,
valid excuses. I'm busy, I'm doing something else needs my attention,
yeah,
but then to hold myself accountable, I released it out there. Like, I'm going to do a 7-day challenge. So that's kind of what a coach does to you. It's there to cheer you on, to remind you, and to make sure that you're getting to your goal from your point A
yeah,
to your point B.
yeah. Yeah, no, since I got a coach, I have my coach, and it's amazing. I have a business coach like Lisa, and it's a game changer because I was super overwhelmed. And I've
Oh,
talked about that before, but something like I haven't said here, I believe, so far about the business coaching stuff is that, like, there are things right now that you may know, but you don't know how to put them in the right way so it makes sense, because you at the time you're in the business right now, the current moment that you're in your business right now, there's something that you must do that is
mm,
more important than this other thing that you probably think is the most important. And it could be like super easy to solve, and it's gonna bring you like great success, but you are not recognizing it. um,
yeah.
and
But it
yes,
can be very costly if you don't know what you're doing.
yeah,
You're trying to
super,
invest here, buy this, enroll in this. It's just gonna make it more expensive if you don't know what you're doing. When you have a business coach, the business coach can advise you, no, go this direction, and
yeah.
you just have a clearer path, and
Mhm.
everything becomes more efficient.
Yeah, and imagine like you've never done this, you're brand new. There are so many things you gotta learn, like finance, HR. I mean, if you're a small business, you probably don't do any HR stuff, but like later on, you will get there.
Mm-hmm.
Sales, marketing. Most people, they don't even know what PR is, my friend. But I've been learning PR a little bit of it because it's really important for your
Yes,
brand.
it is.
So, oh yeah, and it has helped me to understand more about business in general, but more about marketing and things that I thought I already knew about. But you need to have like integral knowledge, and
Yeah,
that's exactly what the coach has. So you
yeah,
don't have to go over everything that like you got to learn, or like Lisa knows to be able to. I mean, you can all just get a coach, and they already know that they already gone through the like taking all the weight of learning all of these things
I
and
like
applying
that.
it.
Yeah, that's true. I like that.
Yeah, because like in my case, because of the type of business that I own, it had to happen. But if
Mm,
you're like an HVAC company or something, and you're doing 1 million and you want to get to 3 million or something, there are
yeah,
things right now, resources and things you're doing wrong that you don't even recognize, that you can easily solve with the consulting of like Lisa, or another coach or expert that really knows what they're doing, and they're going to give you the guidance that you need, because you probably have a lot of resources that you're not using, or just
yeah,
it's crazy.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I get really excited about everything business. I'm super passionate
I know.
about.
We can talk forever.
Oh yeah, we can talk forever about it.
Mhm.
But no, especially now with the coach, because I am getting the value and I know how important it is, which I wish I've done it before, because it's been great. Like
We didn't
uh,
even have coaches back then to coach us. You know?
yeah, and Lisa, she said I have a coach, which something that was something else that someone else said. I think it was Terry. She said I have 8 coaches. That's another coach that was here, Lisa, and she's really
Mhm.
awesome too. You guys, you girls should
Yeah,
connect,
we could
because she's
connect. Yeah.
amazing too. Yes, shout out to you, Terry, if you're watching this. But
Mhm.
it's fantastic, and you guys are real coaches, because you're not just doing it. It's like I always tell my clients, like, who pay the most ads of my clientele, like ad money, like advertisement money, and I'm like, me, like I do it because
Yeah.
I if you don't believe in it, you're not gonna do it. But if you do
Mhm.
believe in it and you work really hard and you're putting your money where your money where your mouth is, then you are gonna it's gonna be a lot better. But it's difficult to sell something that you don't fully believe in. If
Yeah,
you
that's
believe
what I
in
was
it, you will
saying.
be
That's
right.
exactly what I was saying earlier with the being passionate about whatever you choose, whether it's a career or a business. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
passionate about it because otherwise, especially if you have a business, if you have a
Yeah,
business that you don't really love, how can
you
you
gotta quit.
convince somebody else to avail of whatever you're offering? Impossible.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're gonna quit. Like when things, the hard stuff happens, which is every day, you're gonna quit because it's difficult. It's so
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah.
It's super tough. But it's
Mhm.
tougher if you don't have a coach. So, you know,
Yeah,
100%.
that's
So, my
correct.
friend, was this something that when you were a kid and you were seeing your dad doing this, like was this something that you really wanted to do? Did you feel this was your call to as a career from
Yeah. Well, just seeing him work, just seeing him on his typewriter and seeing him teach, it was really like something that spoke to me, even as a kid.
nice?
Like, I want to be like him because he was also a professor in this school. Because in the Philippines back then, you have a school where there's elementary, high school, and college. So
Hmm.
he was teaching in college while I was in elementary. And so just seeing him and the respect of people, teachers are like coaches. And so the respect that people were paying him, calling him professor, was already like something that was speaking to me even back then. I guess more than being, some people dream to be famous. I dreamt to be respected.
Nice.
I wanted respect. That's kind
I
of what.
like that.
Mhm.
I've never heard that before. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted the respect, and I understood that respect is earned. You have to earn it. It's not like you force people to respect you. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that was the influence that I got, which led me to like, this is what I want.
And that's, because you're a leadership coach and you know about all these amazing skills that every executive should have. But, like, would you say that, of course, respect super important if you're an executive, but would you say that this leader, like, it's important for leadership to care, like you have to really care about the respect that people have in you, and how do you earn that respect?
Well, I guess if you want to be respected, you are already projecting that kind of respect for others as well, because you can't be respected if you're not respectful of others.
Reciprocity.
It's reciprocal.
Yeah.
And respect is also earned when you've proven yourself. So you don't do things because you want their validation. You do things because you want to serve people. And the serving, and so this is also important, whatever business you have, when you're there to serve, it's like flowing back naturally because you're helping others. It's still about building relationships, and when you build good relationships, that gives birth. It's like you're not even trying anymore. I'm telling you, I've coached an entire family, like,
Wow.
and referred other family members to me. That's a sign of people trusting you. Like, I don't want anyone but you. And that's not something that just happens because you have a good product or you have a good service, but of course that follows. But it's because of the relationship you build. So the relationship is what creates the trust, and the trust earns the respect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. And I think, like, in my case, like, we have a great team and they see me grinding and doing these things, and they're like, and every time we hire someone and I take uh like, I have that, I delegate that responsibility of that position that I was being like doing, because we, as business owners, especially if you're starting, you have like so many positions that, I mean,
Yeah.
you're wearing all the hats, right? So you're doing that. either you're doing it once in a while or you're doing like you're still doing it,
Oh
and
yeah.
you know the position exists, so you're holding it, but someone has to do it. So and that someone is you.
That's a real leader for me. That's a
That's a
true,
real leader.
yeah. Because for me, entrepreneurship is leadership. You
Hmm.
can be a business owner. By the way, you can be a business owner without being an entrepreneur. There's a huge difference. Entrepreneurs are risk takers, entrepreneurs are leaders. You know,
Hmm.
we're gonna spend our own personal money because we believe in our vision. We're gonna
Yeah,
fight for it, like the way I fought for my kids. You know,
yeah,
that's the difference. If your dream is just to sit in your store and wait for customers to come in, I have to be honest with you, but that kind of business is already fading away. We are in a different realm right now. It's totally different. Yes, you're right. There's something more difficult. Competition is stiff, but this is why if you build those relationships, you're going to stand above everybody else. This is the perfect time and scenario for you to start building those relationships. And,
yeah.
successful entrepreneurs, if you see them, they're the ones who are really still have that mentality of working. Even the rich entrepreneurs, they're still doing the dirty work if needed. They're gonna
Oh,
step up. If an employee is sick, they're gonna step up to help. This is just what it is. That's having an
mhm.
entrepreneurial spirit for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I love what you said, and I have that vision, right? And what I do, my friend, is every time that I delegate something, I dedicate more of the time that I need to put to
Mm,
the priorities, right? Like the other things that we know for a fact that I should be doing. Like for example, these interviews is one, in a scale from A to D activities, like level of activities and importance. This is really high in the scale. Like I have to be doing these interviews, to connect with people like you, amazing people like you, and grow our brand and all of those things that only I can do.
yeah,
And meanwhile, my team is working really hard and they're doing, websites, marketing, graphic design, and all these other things. But
amazing.
I keep working, branding and, our business recognition and all of that,
Mm,
and improving my personal brand too, because that's super important for the business as well.
yeah,
So yeah,
you're
my
doing the right
entire life.
thing, my friend. You're doing the right thing. Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank
Hmm.
you. Well, that's great because you're telling it, you're saying that, and that. I mean, that makes me feel good because then it means that I'm doing the right thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah, you're
But
doing the right thing. You're focusing on the right thing.
thank you. Yes, it's a lot, but I gotta be a leader, and I
Yeah.
am an entrepreneur, and but it's something you prove, right? Like you're saying. So
Hmm.
it's difficult, but that's what entrepreneurs do, and I'm totally with you. Like businesses, like before, they're not, they're not gonna keep existing, and especially with all the competitors, and
Yeah.
every single day there's more businesses every single
Yeah.
day.
Hmm.
So you have to be really like resilient and never quit and work really hard and come up with new solutions for things, and
Yeah,
that's
I like
how you're
that.
gonna come off
Hmm.
this. But now let's talk about your business, my friend. How so if we want to get Lisa in our team and helping us and coaching us and guiding us, how do we do that? Where do we go, and how does that work? Explain to us about that, please.
Okay. So I offer one-on-one coaching, I offer group coaching, and I have an online program. So the online program is something that I will be relaunching because I modified it. I'll be relaunching it this month. And
Nice.
it's how to create a targeted online presence. You mentioned about uh being adaptable, being relevant, and always
Mhm.
creating. Especially this day and age, we always need to keep creating. And this is something that came to me recently, because the program that I had was basically teaching students how to set up their business on the right foundation. Because this is also one thing that's lacking in lots of businesses, because there's a huge percentage of businesses that fail in the first year,
Yeah.
and then very few make it beyond 5 years. And for me, because you've already invested time and even money into your business, you have to look at it as something long term,
Yeah.
something you can even pass on to your kids. And so if
Yeah.
we're talking long term, we have to build the right foundation. So that was the gist of my initial online program. But I noticed that people don't want to think about foundation when they need to sell right now. Okay. And so that's when I realized that I really have to hit the pain point for them. And there has to be an urgent need for them to really see the value of what I offer. So this is
Yeah.
also something I'm passing on to you and to others who are watching. They have to see the value of the offer, and there has to be an urgency. And
Hmm.
so this is where I tweaked everything. Okay, I tweaked it. It's still about the foundation, but the approach became different. Now let's talk about your pain. And what is the pain of most businesses? Either they've already transitioned from the offline to the online space, they're
Yeah.
starting the business, or they've already been in business like me for a long time, because the transition to the online space became very challenging for me as well. So when I focus on my own challenges, when I transitioned to the online space, then I started realizing these are the pain points of the same target audience that I have. And
Hmm.
so this is why I created this targeted, it's called targeted, the program is called targeted, creating an online presence that converts. And so what happens is it teaches you how to create your online presence in a way that will generate the right type, make the right types of people to come in and then convert them to prospects and clients. And when I started doing this, I don't know if you saw my Instagram reels because that's where you found me. When I started just like talking about it, all of a sudden people were there paying attention.
Hmm.
And so that's when I knew, okay, I have to tweak my program and make it more targeted. And so
Hmm.
that one is almost ready. So
Awesome.
you know how it works. It's kind of like a tier. So this is definitely the most affordable because you're purchasing an online program, but you have
Hmm.
access to live Q&As, you know. And then the next level is a group coaching, but this is, I haven't really offered this yet uh to like just random people. It's mostly people getting me, they already have a ready group,
Got
like a
it.
small company, we already have a group, coach us as a group. But to
Hmm.
offer it randomly, like filling up the spot, I haven't done that. And then one-on-one, of course, as you and I know, is the most expensive one, but it gives you
Yeah.
that personal, you know. So for my one-on-one, though, I tailor fit it based on the specific requirement of the client. So we'll
Hmm.
sit down first, we'll sit down for free, talk for free, and give me everything, what you're going through, your problems. And then I create something. So maybe you need the entire program, maybe you need just a portion of the program. So that's
Yeah.
how I work with clients.
Awesome. So there's many ways to do business with you.
Yeah.
There's a starting point, and
Yeah.
so there's no excuses, guys. You guys can do business with Lisa today. You can get her coaching, her experience. You
Yeah, or
know,
they can just drop, they can just hop on a free call with me and we'll see, what you want to do. That would
yes,
be the most perfect start. Mhm.
yes, and you guys cannot afford. This is what you cannot afford to do. You cannot afford to not have a coach.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
you can't afford the one-on-one coaching, there's still the online program, and you still have
Yes.
access to live Q&As that I do on a
Yes.
monthly basis. So it's
Yes.
kind of like having a coach at the same time, but still because I understand people are in different levels when it comes to their finances. So, it's not,
Yes.
I understand that some people would be willing to spend this if they have it, but if they don't have it, you can't really force them to spend, for a one-on-one coaching. And this is why I
Right.
created the online program so it can be available to everyone.
Yes, yes. So, but you
Mhm.
have to get the guidance, and you have to either because the cool thing is like if you are part of Lisa's community, you can actually ask questions. So if
Yes,
you have a question,
definitely.
yeah. So you have a question, like who are you asking right now? Ask yourself that question. Who can answer your business questions right now? Most of us, we didn't come from an entrepreneur family. Like thanks God Lisa did, but
Mhm.
not everyone was that fortunate to have a dad that was a business consultant and PR and all this amazing background. So we need access to someone that knows, that can guide us and help us. And we have questions every day. We come up with questions. Do you know if what you're doing right now is the right thing to do? You know, probably not. You're not 100% sure because you've probably never done it before. And if you've never done it before, how do you know, it's hard. And I know I talk from perspective, from experience, right? And my own perspective, because I've been living that. And just to tell you guys real quick, and we're gonna keep going here because Lisa has her own schedule, and we don't want to take her time forever. But guys, like really, the first month of my coaching with my coach, and I'm sure Lisa, like, she's got stories like that, like this, but he gave me one tip, only one tip, and with that tip, I closed a deal that would have been like, let's say 3,000, and I closed it for 6,000. Just for one tip that he gave me, because I was doing one little thing during the sales process that was wrong, and I fixed that, and the next person that I talked to, boom, I like, you know, it just, that one sale was already $3,000 more. So I mean, it's priceless, but
definitely.
what's screwing you guys up is what you don't know, right, Lisa?
Right. Because as I've said, as a coach myself, I have to consult with other coaches too. Because you reach a dead end. Because, our brains can only function so much. And so another person's perspective can just open your eyes like that and
Yeah.
change your entire game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa has worked with big companies too. So she can, if you have big dreams like I do and Lisa does, like, you will be with the right person, because she's going to help you to scale, because she's helped other big companies too. So she knows the corporate, the big corporate part that you will need eventually. That's what you want to do, grow a lot, right? So no, that's awesome, my friend. And please send me the links so I can put all the links in the description.
Definitely.
And so what is the website? Tell us real quick in the video.
Website is lisamakiconsulting.com. So you'll find everything there. You'll find some free stuff. You can download some PDF. You can attend free webinars. So,
Nice.
I offer all that for free, so you can check me out first.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some of that. I need more free stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
I need more of that, Lisa. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so now let's get to the nitty gritty. This is where like these guys, they learn the most, and where we throw them like lots of value, Lisa. So these questions are really fun, and they're really
Okay.
yeah, they're super cool. So the first one is, so if you could do one thing differently, if you were to go back in time, what would you do differently? If it was only one, let's just say one thing, like you go back in time when you started and all this,
the business,
and you were with your two kids and fighting for your family and everything. What would you do differently this time? Only one thing.
I would have been more focused on fixing my personal life as well, because the personal life affects the professional life.
Yeah.
And what happened to me was I buried everything under the rug, because I just had to focus on the professional aspect of being a successful entrepreneur. But eventually it caught up with me, so I was financially successful during that phase of my journey, but I was very empty. And so that was also spilling over to whatever I was doing. So I could have even done better. I could have touched more people's lives, but because I was so messed up on the inside, and I wasn't thinking about it. So that's something I would probably have done differently. I would have paid more attention to my heart and what my heart was saying, and fix that problem, so that I would be in a better entrepreneur and person, for the most part. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And thank you so much for being so open. Like, not every day we get a person that is so open. And I'm the same way. And I, not everyone likes that, because because I guess because they feel like they have to do the same. You know what I mean? But I am that way. So I also I'm very like open with my stuff, and I just say things how they are, like in my life.
thing about talking about the personal stuff is when you've already overcome those problems. Of course, it's hard to talk about it when you're still going through it.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, but people love to hear stories because that's something they can relate to.
It's relatable. Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
And that's why, it's great to have you here, my friend, because a lot of people will watch this or listen to it in the podcast version, and they're gonna be like, "Wow,
Yeah,
that's me," or and that's
I
what we
have
want.
stories. Let's share stories.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing this, because the thing is, Joseph, whoever is watching this, and they're going through that same problem or something very similar,
Mhm.
and they're like, they feel hopeless, right? And they're watching
That's
this or
one
whatever
thing
we.
too, I forgot to mention. That's one thing too that is definitely incorporated in my coaching
Uh-huh.
sessions and programs. I can't really separate it because we represent our values really represent who we are. And
Hmm.
every time I encounter an entrepreneur, whether it's in a group coaching setting, one-on-one coaching, and even those who sign up for the program, there's always the hurdle is always on the personal side.
I
And
see.
even sometimes people come to me for business advice, but then the problem is not even in the business, but in the personal
Mm.
side. So I want to make sure that the personal is okay
Mm.
so that we can move forward. Mhm.
Wow. So you're
Mhm.
not just the regular business coach that is just looking
No,
at
it's
their
only
business.
like a balance of life coaching and business coaching.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you guys, Lisa's different. Like we haven't had a coach like
You're
her. Like,
getting the best of both worlds.
yeah, oh, that's beautiful, because I totally agree with you. And it's
Mhm.
difficult when you're stressed out and you're not, like you have these family problems. How can you perform well at work? It's impossible, or
You may
think
probably be
clearly.
able to do it for a while, but eventually you're going to break down.
You will. Yes. Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And that I really want to know. So what is next for Lisa
Okay.
and your business? What is the next big goal that you guys are after?
Okay. I already was able to set up, kind of see the implementation of one of my biggest goals, and that's to establish a family business in the Philippines. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So what happened was in the course of being, so I was an entrepreneur turned solopreneur. So after I
Mm.
got married, I toned down because I wanted to spend, more time with my husband. So that's when I started to work from home. So the big corporations became individuals. So from business to business, I started doing business to consumer. And so in my being a solopreneur, I realized that I couldn't do it alone. And that's when I discovered the value of virtual assistants.
Got it.
A virtual assistant started helping me. And then we have really good virtual assistants from the Philippines. And
Me too.
so I was like, I really want to help Filipinos. I really want to give them job opportunities. And I
Mhm.
know that, I don't know what your belief is, but I know that God didn't send me to America for nothing.
Yeah.
My vision is always bigger than myself. And
Hmm.
so, anyways, and then people started coming to me. People I coach, my friends were coming to me, hey, can you recommend any virtual assistants? So that's when the idea of, you know what, I want to set up a business. And I have a big family in the Philippines, and they're all professional, highly skilled people. In fact,
Wow.
my son actually kind of does the same thing as you do. He's a graphics designer.
Oh,
He's
nice.
my brand manager, yeah. And so I presented the idea when I visited the Philippines in April. So just a
Hmm.
few months ago, I presented the idea to my father because he's the investor and
Hmm.
he liked it. So we were able to start. So we now have, we're not an agency, we're kind of like a matchmaker.
Uh-huh.
So it's a business in the Philippines. So it's not my business, but
Hmm.
it's still affiliated with me, and I'm the one talking to clients from here, to explain more of the business to them. So that's one aspect of the business, but it's not a part of Lisa Mackey Consulting. So when it comes to Lisa Mackey Consulting, I really dream of having a mastermind someday. That's like one of my biggest goals is to have a mastermind and
Nice.
to have something I can offer that now that we're not on a lockdown anymore. I
Mhm.
want to, one of my dreams even many years ago is to be able to bring people to a really nice place and have some conference there, like a
Nice.
beach resort. It would be nice to have my own beach resort.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's great. I love that.
Mhm.
And you can totally do it, Lisa, and help so
I
many
know.
people. You
I
have to
know.
do it.
That
Yeah.
that's my desire to have some kind of a mastermind retreat,
Hmm.
where
Yes.
yeah, it's a
Oh, I
more
love it.
intimate setting, yeah, for days and just be away from the hustle and bustle of life.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. And you know that that's something that we all need. A
Yeah,
summit, a retreat, right? I mean, we're all business people, so we can't just go somewhere and forget about everything. So if you go, I mean, it's a perfect excuse to like go somewhere and learn
yeah,
more about business, like improve your business, but also have a good time and meet
yeah.
other like-minded people. It's perfect. I love it. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes. So
used to
count
do
me
that
in.
a lot. I used to do that a lot when I was still working with corporations. We would be out,
Yes.
yeah, we'd be going places to do, team building and
Mhm,
leadership.
mhm. Yeah. No, it's great. Count me in for the first one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I'll do my best to be there. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
And also the other dream that you already achieved or you're achieving, that's beautiful too. And I have two Philippine workers right now, and they're the best.
Yeah,
Uh,
good
Vanessa
one.
and Charlene. One is
Hi,
my
Vanessa. Hi,
marketing person.
Charlene.
Yeah,
Kamusta?
shout out to you girls. And she's probably watching this one, Vanessa. She always like watches my stuff, so
Hi,
that's great. And
Vanessa.
yes, she's the best, and she's my sales girl. And I have Charlene, she's my marketing girl, and they're all
Wow.
amazing. And something I can say about like Filipino people, like you guys are super loyal, so cool people. In my case, because I'm Latin from Venezuela, South America, like we're very alike in many ways because
Yeah, because we
I,
have a
I,
huge Spanish influence.
I
We were
guess I
conquered
guess
by,
that's
we were,
why
we were colonized by Spain.
yes, I guess that's why So
Mm,
no, it's great, and I only have good things to say about Filipino people, and I have big friends too in San Diego, and they're
nice.
Philippines, and they're
I have a
super.
family. I have cousins in San Diego too.
No way. Okay, maybe they're the same. I don't know. So Fulgentes, does that sound like Fulgentes?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I
No,
don't know who my cousins are married to, but I was just
maybe.
yeah, I was just talking to one of them who was visiting the Philippines, but they're from San Diego.
Okay, cool. So no, that's great. And so no, nothing bad to say about the Filipino. They're the best. And if you guys don't have VAs and you're watching this, you should check that out because it's super helpful and it's super important.
Oh yeah.
And and you're helping these people, okay? Because I come from a third world country, so I can say it. Because
Yeah, that's
people
why we can
they
relate.
start saying like,
Yeah.
oh, don't say third world country. Like, I mean, it's a country that you guys will be helping the economy of the country because like it's a lot of money for them
Yeah,
and it's a privilege. Like you
it
guys
is.
don't know, like it's a privilege when a Filipino worker gets a job from the United States. It's a big privilege
Yeah.
in there. So you're gonna be helping someone that is gonna help you scale your business. Super loyal, super cool people and yeah, they're always with me and they're always like really ready to help me to do whatever we need to
Good.
do to improve the business. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hands down, 100%.
Mm.
Of course, people from my country too, Venezuela, same thing. Great people. Awesome people. And so, my friend, that's beautiful. We're gonna do two more questions and we're
Okay.
out. Thank
Okay.
you so much, Lisa, for being here. You're the best. And please, if you're watching this, say thank you to Lisa for being with us and taking some of her precious time to teach you guys and help us and be here in the show, please. And that so my friend, so two more questions. So what are the best three books for entrepreneurs that are starting a business that they should be reading right now?
One of the books that I should read again is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've read
Yep.
that many, many years ago. I lost the book. I have to buy a new one. And another book that has really helped me actually in this online space is Russell Brunson's Traffic Secret. What's the other
Mhm.
one? I have those three books. And I really like Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figure Outable,
Uh-huh.
because that has really helped motivate me. So whether it's good for entrepreneurs because she is an entrepreneur herself, and
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
yeah, and she also, she wasn't born rich. she
No.
she really is a very hardworking. I really admire entrepreneurs who became successful because they're hard workers.
Yeah.
I really admire those people. So yeah, those are the three books I recommend.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I didn't get to meet her, but I know about Marie Forleo because I went to the 10x Growth Conference like 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago.
Oh,
And she was here in Vegas. That was in Vegas, and it was really
yeah, I
inspirational.
should really attend one of those. I have not. I've been wanting
Oh,
to.
it's great. You gotta
I
do
know
one.
my friend did. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
and so she spoke, and something she said that I was like, yes, I'm doing the right thing. Is she said like I don't get like just anyone in my team, and I really make sure that they're fitting the culture and that they're the same kind of mindset that we're in and all of these things, and that's exactly what I try to do here in with my team, and we have a great team, so I think it's successful. Yeah.
Good, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, my friend. And now the last question of all, again, thank you so
Okay.
much for being here, Lisa, is what are the three things or tips that you would give a new business owner or entrepreneur that, they're going to start their brand new business? Three things only. Most
Okay,
important.
first, you've already said it over and over again, hire a coach
Yes.
or at least enroll in an online program. And then make sure that you build your business on the right foundation. I always look at it as building a house, so that when the storms come, whatever happens, you're still standing strong.
Mhm.
And the third tip is, again, I'm going to say the same thing. Make sure that your business really represents your uniqueness. So your uniqueness includes your experiences, your skills, your personality, your character, and something you're passionate about. Because anything that comes from you will just flow naturally, and you'll be happy, working every single day. And it will also reflect to your customers, and they'll see how excited you are. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I was able to get clients even when I started my business. They just saw my enthusiasm, and because it's my passion and it's me.
Oh
So
yeah.
three things. Mhm.
Yeah, you're willing to over deliver, which is our first core value in this business is
Yeah,
because
I like that.
yeah, because it's easier, right? Because you're like passionate about it, so you're not seeing it as overwork. You're seeing it as
Yeah.
this is a must. Like, man, I have to do more because I can't. But you like it, so you're like, yeah, it's a no brainer to not do it because you like
Hmm.
it and because the customer is gonna be happier and because you're giving them more value. And I think that's why when we start a business, a lot of us like gain like quick success, and I include myself there because when I started, I was already doing $15,000, and I thought that was like I remember when I used to think like, wow, who can make $15,000 a month? That's a lot of money. But it's not. It's not, and it's not that difficult. But it's because I was super passionate, and of course, people
Yeah,
they refer you more, and they're like, hey, I want to help Jose because he's working really hard and
I like
everything.
that.
They see that. So I think that's something that we must have, like you said, be passionate about it. And
Mhm.
just recapping the last three tips that Lisa gave was hire a coach or enroll in a program that is, somehow like with has some coaching to it, right? Pretty
Mhm.
much. Yes.
Yes.
So and then build a great foundation in your business. Is that right?
Yes.
Got it. And then the third one is build a business that you are passionate about, that is something that you will like really carry on with. And I'm just gonna add something there, and we're
Sure.
done. Is that it's an investment. Like you guys are buying a house for 30 years probably, and you're gonna be paying a mortgage for 30 freaking years. But when some of us start our businesses and we don't think in the business as a 30-year commitment, unfortunately. So I think it's very important that if you haven't done it, and even if you have already started your business, like think of your business like a 30-year commitment. It's gonna be
Yeah.
different once you think that, because it's gonna be like, oh man, like this is something that I'll be doing for a lot of time. And like the same way you think about your house, like, oh, this is something that my kids are gonna keep, that it's gonna like, help my family in the future, and when I'm not here, etc. Is the same thing. It's actually way better than a home if you think about it, way better. Like, and it can make you millionaire, millions and millions and so much
Yeah.
more. And it's something that you will be super proud about. Like, if you're proud about your house, imagine having the house that creates houses.
Mm,
Like something
I
like
love
that.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. I just have to say it. I've never said that before, so I was
Very
like,
good.
I have to say it because,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, because it's hard, because I think we start a business, some of us, and that was my case, and it was not my case because it was one of my biggest dreams to have my own business. But we get into business sometimes because we've been pushed by life in a way, and then we're like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to start a business. So we
Mm.
don't start in the business with any sort of like real, you
Yeah.
know, commitment, like long term. So we're still always in like the phase where we're like, if you're still in that phase, like you're like, I can always go back and get a job. It, I mean, you
Mm.
know what I mean,
Really
Lisa?
good. Yeah, that's really good. It's kind of like walking down the aisle and thinking for a way to escape.
Yeah,
This doesn't work
yeah,
out.
exactly. It's like you're gonna get married and you're like, oh my God, the door is there. So if I
Yeah, or
freak
you're
out a
thinking
lot,
at the
I'm
back
gonna
of
go
your
for that
head.
door.
Things don't work out right, then I
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a good one. But
Mm-hmm.
no, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you got great value from this. I got great value from it. Please say thank you to Lisa in the comments. And she's awesome. Work with her. Okay, like get into her program if like, I don't know like what level of business you're in. If you are at a decent level, get a 101. It's like there's nothing like it. But if you can't, just go and get the program, because I'm sure it's absolutely amazing, and you're gonna have the ability to ask questions to Lisa. Imagine
Mm-hmm.
having like someone like Lisa in your team. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Amazing.
it's a game changer. So, anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Woo! Thank you
Thank
for being here, my
you.
friend, and God bless you and your
God
family.
bless you
Don't leave
too.
yet. Don't leave yet, because I
No,
would
no.
like to, yeah, connect a little bit more with you. But
Yeah.
anyways, guys, thank you for everyone that just is being with us the whole thing. God bless you, and see you in the next one. Woo!